Today from r/EntitledParents. Crazy liar dad finds out where I live and attempt to give my apartment to his random friends without my knowledge. To add some context, I'm female 25. My parents are so crazy, to the point where me and the majority of my family had to cut them off. For me personally, my dad completely, and my mom calls on occasion. My mom also tries to overstep, such as inviting him to family events he's specifically not invited to. The reason is he tries to steer every conversation and attempts to talk about himself. People usually don't care or want to hear them. He argues with people, threatens their lives, and she purposely does these things knowing they'll cause an argument, and she gets joy out of it. So needless to say, sane people don't want these issues in their lives. My dad is delusional and narcissistic to the point where he thinks he's famous and claims everyone runs up to him for pictures and says he's famous and someone he knows is making a movie about him. Lies about it, obviously, because no one has ever seen this and it's a running joke. People laugh at him. He thinks it's with him, not at him. He's lost all of his friends due to his poor behavior, such as arguments, belittling, non-stop phone calls. But to the story of his lies and delusions. I have an apartment, and I didn't give him my address because we aren't on speaking terms, and threatened my life because I wouldn't give him my personal info so he could take loans out in my name. That's an obvious no. Also, I didn't grow up with him, so I barely know him. He has apparently told people he has an apartment, mine, and that he lets his daughter, me, live in. This is what I've been told. He likes to pretend he's a big shot, so I guess he told some people who needed a place to live they could stay at his spare apartment. He got my address from a family member. I assume my mom, due to the fact that no one I know speaks to him. One day I get a call from my apartment building manager, saying there's some people at the gate, saying they're here to move into your unit. Is this correct? I was just as confused as she seemed. As well as the people he sent to live at my place. He somehow thinks that it's his place. Mind you, it's my place. I pay the bills, and didn't even know he knew the address. So I go out to meet these said guests, as there was much confusion. These three people, three random sketchy older looking men. Side note, I would at most let a friend stay a few nights if needed, not random strange men. I ask what's going on. My building manager stayed because she wanted to know what was going on and wanted to help sort it out. So she would also know who's moving in and out because she's in charge of the lease and the building isn't that big. We all know each other. The three men proceeded to tell me they're moving in their place. We're here for the keys. You're his daughter, right? He said you'd be out by the time we got there, and his keys would be at the front desk. We all looked and said, do you see a front desk? I asked to see the address. We thought maybe wrong address. Nope, my address. So the guy said your dad said he kicked you out because you're freeloading, and he had to leave the keys at the non-existent front desk. By this time, all five of us were confused, but they had my address. I said he doesn't even have my address, so I don't know how he got it. By this time, they're trying to call him to sort it out. He's not answering at the moment. So I explained to them, I don't know how or he got this address. I haven't spoken to him in about a year, and I don't know how I'm freeloading or what he's told you, but this is my place. I don't know what's going on. You need to leave and figure it out with him, but I have no place for you, sorry. They tried to get me to call him. I said no, and calling won't change anything, and this isn't my problem, so I can't help you. By the way, they didn't seem threatening. It was just random, and weird for all. I hear one guy on the phone talking to my dad. I hear him telling him she's lying, etc. Ask her to show you the lease. At this point, one of the guys and my building manager are all looking like this is odd, and he looks so embarrassed. My manager stepped in at this time, luckily. She told the men, you all must have the wrong place. She's on the lease, the only one, and you have to leave and sort it out. I can say despite them looking sketchy initially, they were as calm as could be in their odd situation, because in all honesty, the only fault they had was believing my dad. They thought they were moving into an apartment for free. If I was in that situation, I wouldn't be happy either. After apologizing and before leaving, I heard one of them say he knew something was up. He's always lying. I asked, what did he tell you? One of the men said he told me he had a spot for him to move in, all furnished, and paid up to the rest of the year. I kicked my daughter out because she's freeloading, but claimed he couldn't get out of the lease. I said something like, well, like your friend said, he is a liar. I don't know how, why, and what made him do this. I never gave him my address. He isn't on the lease. I don't even talk to him. So I'm sorry, but I hope it works out. I don't know what my dad thought would happen. But like I said, he's delusional. He probably assumed all he was saying was true. Or maybe he assumed there was a front desk, and whoever was at the front desk would just magically let 3 people in, and I'd have no say. It's all so crazy that I can't even attempt to understand. There's no use. Also, I told my manager thanks, and if anyone ever comes when I'm not home, please give me a call, or call 911. If I have a guest coming, I'll be home to greet them.